Hi, I'm Ariam, and I've decided I want to do another book tag. So this book tag is called the 10 Books Challenge, which is apparently from a rambling reviewer. Oh no, the person who wrote this, which is Easy with Books, tried to find the creator of it but was unsuccessful. But basically, there are 10 prompts for a book. So a book that made me think. Which is a good question because, I feel like old books make me think, unless they're like really, really dumb. But and even then, I'm thinking about why are they so dumb and everything. Okay, I am putting too much thought into this. If all books make me think, then I have to choose just one, right? um, Gracious. Wait, I think I know what book I want, but do I want that one? Okay, I'm actually going to go with one of the last books I read, which was Folktales for Fearless Girls retold by Miriam Sayalero and illustrated by Danny Torrent. Because in the last, I just filmed a clip talking about it in a vlog, and I was talking about how it made me think of how fairy tales work because um, I definitely grew up on fairy tales and reading a lot of fairy tale books, and I've always loved fairy tales and folk tales and reading them. But just reading this collection as an adult, and most of the fairy tales were fairy tales I was unfamiliar with, just did make me think about how fairy tales work, how they're often written and contrived. Contrived, that's the word for looking for? Okay. Next, a book that surprised me. Hmm. Book that surprised me. Ooh. I'm gonna choose it. So I'm gonna go with Anne's House of Dreams. So this is part of the Anne of Green Gables series by Ellen Montgomery. And I first read Anne of Green Gables, or more correctly, it was read to me when I was 7. And I fell in love with it. And between the ages of like 7 to 9 or 10, I ate up all the books in this very long series, actually. It's like 7 or 8 books. Um, and Anne's House of Dreams was the only one I did not like. And I read this series, reread the series a lot of times. And I was always like, as a kid, I was a completionist, so I was always like, oh, I have to reread Anne's House of Dreams, even though I don't like it. So I would reread it over and over again. And then one of the times I was rereading, when I was already an adult, I discovered that I actually really liked it. And that makes sense because this is the book in the series, I think, that is most aimed at adults. Well, there are definitely, yeah. All of the other books I read as a kid, and they're mostly aimed at kids, so I really liked them as a kid. And most of them I still really like. So, rereading Anne of Ingleside as an adult, which is actually the one that comes after Anne's House of Dreams, I don't like half as much. She becomes kind of a bitch in here. Um, but yeah, Anne's House of Dreams, I did not like as a kid, and I'm rereading an adult, and I realized that it's a book written for adult, and there were so many. One of the reasons that I didn't like it as a kid is there's a major plot point that goes on in here that is not only written for adults and that it's subtle, it's just, it's something I was, yeah, it's written for adults in a very, very subtle way. So I just did not understand what was happening. So I did not understand a good chunk of the book and why people were feeling a certain way and why they were acting a certain way. So of course I didn't like it. And when I finally got to the age where I was able to understand that subtlety, I liked it and that surprised me. So that's why I'm putting it here. Okay, next is a book that made me happy. Hmm. I immediately thought of one, but I do not want to reveal that about myself, so we'll think of something else. I keep on thinking of books and I'm like, yeah, but that would, if I talk about why it would make me happy, it's just gonna reveal too much about myself. So, just gonna go with the Jeeves books by P.G. Woodhouse. They're they're just a fun time, so I enjoy reading them, and that makes me happy. Okay, next, a book that made me sad. Hmm, that made me sad. Why? Okay, this book, I don't even remember the title of it, but there was a period around 2 or 3 years ago where I was really trying to read a lot of Israeli literature. And I had kept on reading, starting series, and I really enjoyed the first book, and then getting to the second or third one and not enjoying it and DNFing it. And this was like the last series I attempted where I was like, I didn't even really love the first book. There were lots of parts that I skipped over because they were just full of insta love and romance. And but then the second book, I was really like, I am slogging through this. There's so much insta love and romance in this, and I really want to like this book, and I really want to read more Israeli literature and enjoy Israeli literature, but I just can't find anything I like. So that made me sad. I did ask the library this year, though, for some recommendations for Israeli fantasy, and she gave me some, and I read one, and I did enjoy it. Like, I didn't think it was the best thing ever, but that's okay. A book that made me feel nostalgic. Okay, I have one. I just have to remember the name of it. Oh shit, how long have I been talking on pause? Um, so let's go back really quickly. A book that made me feel nostalgic was Sea Otter Sunrise by Mary Pope Osborne because it's a Magic Shadows book and the latest one. Then a book I have a love-hate relationship with, I chose Watership Down because I first time I read it, I loved it, and then when I tried to reread it, I DNF'd it. And now we're at a book that I've reread the most, for which I have Magic by Anthony Sage and Adam Green Gables by Elle Montgomery. So these were my like two favorite childhood series. I've read both of them so many times, and I love them both so much. I think they're both still so well written, and I love them. They're great. Okay, a book that made me want to travel. I feel like a lot of the books I did growing up made me want to travel because they happen in foreign countries, namely America. Mostly America, but not only. So reading all these books about foreign countries definitely made me want to travel and go to more places. Um, but the one that I really remember made me want to travel was, drum roll, because I cannot remember, Niels Holgersson by Selma Lagerlof, which, or The Wonderful Adventures of Niels. Okay, that sounds closer. I read it in Hebrew, not in English, so I'm looking it up now. What's the English name? It's The Wonderful Adventures of Niels by Selma Lagerlof. And this basically describes this kid. First of all, it happens in Sweden, which was already not only a foreign country, but it's not America where most of the stories happen. And secondly, this kid just gets up on this goose and sees everything spread out below him, and it just made me want to travel so much. Okay, a book that gave me all the feels. I'm not a feels person. I'm just not. And this is an old book tag. You can tell from that phrase. Gave me all the feels. as I said, this is a very ancient phrase, so I'm going to use a very ancient book. And that one is The Amazing Book is Not on Fire. This book gave me all the feels. No, it didn't. It was a fun little book to read when I especially read it when I wasn't really feeling well and I couldn't really concentrate on stuff. So I like that. I guess I should have put this in the nostalgia thing, but nostalgia is also a lot of feels. Even though I still watched Adam Phil. And thinking about the video that was recently put up, and The Amazing Book is Not on Fire, and I kind of already suspected when I read it what was said in that video. So yeah, I guess that could give me all the feels, but it doesn't really because I don't really care that much if they're in a relationship or not. Them coming out though, that gave me all the feels, especially Dan's video. A book I wish I hadn't read. Goodness gracious. I know there are books I wish I hadn't read, like, but none of them are coming to mind. At the same time, it's like, it's just a book. Like, how much can you wish that you hadn't read it? You know? I don't know. I can't think of anything, and I don't particularly want to because I don't really like the prompt. So that's it. This is the 10. Gosh, I already forgot it. The 10 books challenge. Thank you for watching.